navigate your items safely. All lost items are taken to guest relations at the end of the day. Feel free to take pictures and videos, but please no flash photography, so that way Jose can see where he's driving. And welcome back to Skull Island, everybody.
Jeff Sambora, thank you for the support.
Everyone, feel free to take off your 3D glasses. I'll let you know when you need them again later on during the tour. How was that? That was great, right? I would hope so. It was pretty expensive too. Now, believe it or not, King Kong 360 3D, that's the second largest 3D animation to exist in the world. You might have noticed those screens as we are rolling out of King Kong 360 3D. They're 40 feet tall, 180 feet long, with 60 combined digital projectors to make that entire experience possible. Now that's all thanks to the combined efforts of Peter Jackson and the team of Weta Digital. They also go by Weta Effects nowadays. If you're not familiar with Weta Effects as a name, you've definitely seen a lot of their work as visual effects artists. I'm going to list off some titles, see if something sounds familiar, alright? So, The Lord of the Rings trilogy, The Hobbit trilogy, Avengers Infinity War, Avengers Endgame, Wonder Woman 1984, Deadpool, Deadpool 2, Avatar. They've won their 7th Academy Award for Avatar: The Way of Water. With Bella Ramsey and my husband Pedro Pascal. We can share Pedro, but I get him on holiday, so we're gonna have to work out those details. All right, everybody? Now, I kind of want to go back and play this original clip of King Kong talking about, Peter Jackson talking about the original King Kong, sorry. There he is. Now, how tall do you think this King Kong is compared to the actor? What if I told you that that King Kong is only an 18-inch marionette puppet compared to the actor who is only 50 feet away from the camera to create that optical illusion that King Kong is larger than life? And what they would do to animate King Kong is they would move him millimeter by millimeter, taking a series of pictures in between until they get 12 frames per 1 second of animation, 12 FPS. Nowadays, we usually use 24 frames per second for stop motion animation. If you've ever seen Nightmare Before Christmas or any of the Leica productions like Coraline, Paranorman, Kubo and the Two Strings, that is stop motion animation. Now, King Kong is known not to be a monster, but these classic monsters on your right-hand side are basically what we owe all of our flowers to, all of our thanks. This was painted by Tristan Eaton, who was a street artist. It only took Tristan 2 months to paint that entire mural. mural, and that was 8,000 cans of spray paint a day. If you look at the very end next to Dracula, you might be able to see the Invisible Man. No, he's there, I promise you guys. You just have to take a closer look. Look very, very closely, I promise. I've never told a lie in my life. He's definitely there. Now, speaking of monsters, we're going to be entering into a body of water that's coming up on the left-hand side. This is what we call the Hollywood Ocean. We added the party of the Red Sea to the studio tour back in the 70s. Inspired by the classic film The Ten Commandments, which was a Paramount picture, the star of the movie, Charlton Heston, made an appearance to part the waters for our guests. The glamour train seemed to drive right through the lake and give everyone on board a sea-level view with submarines, torpedoes, and water missiles as well. You can see a clip of it from the new Bond.
So below, tell them they can walk on water as part of the tour.
However, I recognize this body of water more as the Amazon River from Creature from the Black Lagoon, which is celebrating its 70th year since coming out in 1954. Oh, no, I'm so sorry, everyone. That's actually not the Gill Man. That's what I look like in the morning without makeup. Now, our Legacy of Monsters dates all the way back to Dracula in 1931, all the way to Dark Universe at Universal Epic Universe, which is coming out next year in Orlando. So basically, it's going to be like Halloween all year round. It's going to be phenomenal. Now, our next stop is actually going to be the birthplace of all monster movies, including the most terrifying concept of all, the concept of the afterlife. However, don't worry, everything is fine. And why is that? Well, that's because you're in the good place.
You, Eleanor Shellstrop, are dead.
Cool.
This location, the afterlife, come on. I have never ever seen this. You're in the good place.
I'm not supposed to be here. I can't risk going to the bad place.
Maybe it's not all that bad.
How can I help you?
What is the bad place like?
Well, it doesn't sound awesome.
You want to know what does sound awesome is Universal Studios is first and foremost a rental facility. As long as you have the time, the money, and the insurance paid for, any production company can film here, not just Universal. In fact, a lot of Disney productions have filmed right here, including Princess Diaries 2, A Royal Engagement. These are the streets of Genovia. This is where Anne Hathaway, who plays Mia Thermopolis, adopts all the orphan girls to become princesses for a day. And this has also been both Port Royal as well as Tortuga for Disney's Pirates of the Caribbean Curse of the Black Pearl. It's even been Paris, France for the Muppets movie with Amy Adams and Jason Segel. And coming up on your right, this Court of Miracles, which gets its name from the Miracle Man starring Lon Chaney, was part of the big opening number from Rodgers and Hammerstein's Cinderella. That's a Disney production with Brandy, Whoopi Goldberg, Whitney Houston, and Bernadette Peters. But this, of course, has always been home to our classic monsters. So it's been Transylvania for Dracula, Austria for Frankenstein, Wales for the Wolfman and the Invisible Man, even Cairo, Egypt for the original Mummy with Boris Karloff. Now, everyone, just so you all know, our tour is now approximately at the halfway mark, and so I just want to remind everyone, please stay seated during the entire tour. The studio is private property. If you drop your phone or just cannot wait to use the restroom, pull the red cord to get my attention. And I'll be back to assist you, but please remain seated the entire time. Now, obviously, you can tell I'm a big fan of monster movies and the horror movie genre. And we actually survived the Great Depression because of the monster genre. Why? Well, back in the 30s, because of the Great Depression, movie studios, they were either selling off their land to stay afloat, or they were cornering the market on a genre, right? So MGM said they were only going to make movie musicals. Warner Brothers said they were only going to make mafia movies. We decided to make monster movies. Why? Plain and simple, everyone, they're cheap. A lot of material that has to do with our classic monsters all reside in the public domain. Basically, what that just means is because they've existed for 100 years, you don't have to pay any licensing fees, not to an author, a playwright, no artist whatsoever. And believe it or not, we started out with Dracula because Carl Lumley's son, Carl Lumley Jr., had seen Dracula on Broadway, and Bela Lugosi just happened to be playing Dracula on Broadway. So they just asked Bela Lugosi to reprise his role for film. Now, here's what's cool about what we did here at Universal. We wanted to make sure more audiences saw our movies. So we wanted to make ourselves more accessible to our audiences. So not only did we have Bela Lugosi as our English Dracula, but Carlos Villarreal as our Spanish Dracula.
I am Dracula.
The English cast would film throughout the day, and the Spanish cast would recreate shot for shot overnight. So that way, both movies were able to come out on Valentine's Day in 1931. Did you guys know when Dracula first came out?
Yo nunca debo
love how Carlos says that line. It's beautiful. It's phenomenal. Now, did you guys know that the monster movie genre did not exist before we got our kickstart? In fact, when Dracula did come out on Valentine's Day, it was pitched to be a dark romantic movie. So it just goes to show you, there wasn't a lot of monster material until Universal took hold of the reins. Now, because of this thriving success for Dracula, we kind of made Frankenstein the very same year, 1931. Now, we'll talk more about Frankenstein if you guys are a big fan of Frankenstein like I am, whether that's reading the novel by Mary Shelley or the movie itself, as well as the legacy that Boris Karloff has on Frankenstein. Let me know after the tour. But I do want to talk about this next stop that we're about to approach. This is Soundstage 50, right behind me. This is one of our other sound stages that's a little bit different. What's different about Soundstage 50? It's the only soundstage that's two-tiered. So there's 2 floors that you can create 2 different kinds of sets for. I believe right now the production that's utilizing Soundstage 50, the bottom floor is supposed to be a metro station and the top floor is supposed to be a busy city street. So we do have exterior sets where you can make it a busy city street, but maybe you want a more enclosed and controlled environment. We have that capacity right over here. Now, this is also the only soundstage that has a track for cars and buses to drive on through to drop off camera equipment, or as well as set decoration as well. That's a rarity to come by. Usually everything has to be lifted from the outside and carried inside of the soundstage. Normally, we would not have any access whatsoever inside of these sound stages because it's decorated as a hot set. That means it's fully furnished, it's raring to go. Because there's production utilizing this sound stage, we wouldn't have any access, so that way they could leave it untouched. But we got special permission today. They're on a break right now, so we're gonna see if we do have access to go on in today. Jose's gonna see if he can pull some strings, so hang tight everyone. It's really cool, like seeing how much of a makeover it's gotten. So if anyone has ever taken like metro transportation, like subway transportation, like going in there, I was just like, all right, okay, I can see it, I see it. I will say though, the California metro transportation, it pales in comparison to New York transportation. I know that for sure. So feel free to hang tight, sit back, relax everyone, and we're about to go in. For now though, I believe we do have some Tramio cameos that I can show you. Things that, oh,
Welcome to the world of Nope.
no, this is not the world of Nope, Jordan Peele.
Been on that tour so many times since I was a kid. I just love it every time.
The first time I ever went on the Universal lot, we did the tour.
I grew up in Los Angeles, and that was like the place
Okay.
to go and see Jaws.
Looks like we have access, we're going in! Nice going, Jose. This is phenomenal stuff. So feel free to take pictures and videos, everyone. Oh wow, they must have just recently gone to lunch. They left a lot of stuff swayed about. Looks like the art director and producer are set up over there on the left side in the corner. The director's chair right over here, so you can watch playback. And we have a hair and makeup station set all the way back there with wardrobe as well. So yeah, this looks like a metro station for San Francisco. We've got some display pictures of different San Francisco landmarks, as well as a metro map for San Francisco as well. Sorry about that, everyone. California is prone to earthquakes, so welcome to California. Okay, this is not supposed to happen, everyone. Just brace yourselves. We'll just ride this out. Uh-oh. Underlift! Look over the track! Uh-oh. The set who just survived Earthquake the Big One. This attraction actually originally opened 31 years ago in 1989, and we just reopened it this spring for our 60th anniversary with a complete Hollywood makeover, updating all the props and movie-making equipment, bringing the set into the 21st century. This attraction was inspired by the classic disaster movie Earthquake, which is celebrating its
Everybody,
50th anniversary
I'm gonna
this
go
year.
later on
It was
again.
actually released in November 15th, 1974.
You get notified.
It was starring Charlton Heston and Ava Gardner.
Thank you, next
So,
time, everyone. Peace.
didn't mean to mislead you, everyone,
Having
but I just
fun
had to
out
keep
here.
that little surprise to myself. And boy, howdy, it sure looked like we were all surprised. So, kind of going back to before this disastrous experience of Earthquake, I do want to talk about months